What is he trying to do? He's trying to put his shirt as a tube top?
Hello, ladies. Yes?
Welcome back, guys, to another edition of the After School Special. I'm the show's guest, Ted Nichols.
Yes, and Ted...
Nichols!
And some might know me as the CEO. You know,
Of what, Ted?
that's up to you to decide.
Ted is also known as the first hottest ginger of the senior class. And Ted, you want to, starting off with the new segment that we have, you want to show what you have on your desk or like give us a little room tour?
Move stuff around.
Sure. Here's a bookshelf. You're welcome. Okay. My room. You know what? Let's come back to that. Let's go. I'm not sure.
Okay. Show us one thing in your room that is interesting. Just one thing. You don't have to show us your entire room.
Okay. I got a picture of Machu Picchu from
Ted,
Peru.
you went to Peru?
Yeah, I went with Savannah. Savannah's smiling. Look at Savannah. Yeah.
So she knows we're like kind of making fun of her.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Did you buy it in Peru?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Whoa!
Okay. So thank you for that awesome room tour, Ted.
A round of
Thank you.
applause to Theodore Nichols.
All right,
Very
so
welcome.
this is the second episode of the After School Special, and I thought of the idea or like the name of this podcast, you know, because we're talking about high school. There's obviously other people who have podcasts named after us, but I thought it'd be cool to bring out, you know, a couple guests. So Ted is our first one, so he's obviously the most important. And I thought today's interesting topic that would get us.
I'm going to tell Clint you said that. He's the next guest.
He's the second most important. But I thought today we would talk about some interesting topics from school. We're all seniors, and there's been a lot of controversies that have happened throughout our 4 years of high school. So I just think it'd be really funny to talk about that. And I feel like some of the things that we're going to talk about are things that people forgot about. So I would say let's start off with the first thing, freshman year. And obviously discretion is advised, so don't use real people's names. We can use nicknames. And if you don't know who that person is, it's fine. But for the first thing that I have written down, it is the school shooting threat our freshman year. So who wants to talk about that? Aiden, you should talk about it.
I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought it was kind of fun. Like, I went to school, and Mr. Croft was all like, he gave everybody extra credit for actually showing up.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, no one's going to start blasting this school. And I'm like, you're right. Nobody's going to shoot up our school. I mean, come on.
What classes
Blast
or like so I don't even, does anyone remember what day?
It was a bomb threat specifically. It was someone wrote on like the bathroom wall, like, don't come to school, I'm gonna fucking blow this place up. I say I'm gonna school up. It's gonna be epic. And then a bunch of kids were like, oh no. But they really just didn't want to go to school, so they made like an optional day.
Did you guys end up going to school? Because
that's exactly. I did.
Yeah,
I just didn't. I didn't want to go to school that day, and it was
but I didn't.
an excuse to have a longer weekend. So
yeah, exactly. Because it was either first or second semester. I'm pretty sure it was like close to finals actually.
It was close. It was in December.
like my emo haircut.
Love it, like it, love it, Aiden. Okay. Let's
Let me get it out of my face. Where's my ponytail? I'll be right back.
He can't even hear us. You know, Aiden low-key kind of looks like a school shooter with that haircut, but
a little bit.
yeah, when he rewatches this, he'll see that I said that. But I want to know what his obsession with hair is, because that's what happened last episode. Now he's doing it again. Anyways, so what did your guys' parents say when that happened? Because did they call? I think they called everyone, right? They're like, this happened. You don't have to go to school. And then like a third of the population showed up to school the next day.
Yeah. So they called my parents, and my mom found out about it. And my mom and dad were debating whether or not we should go to school. And of course, my sister and I were like, I'm scared. I don't want to go. I would like what happened. And so we were able to convince my mom, and she made the decision that we did not have to.
That's nice. So like since 3 of us didn't go to school, Aiden, what was like the experience that day?
It was a regular school day.
Really? Well, were people just
Like,
talking?
no one
I feel like, yeah, like
There
no
was
one
like
was
less
there.
people. It was like there was less people at the lunchroom, and classes were like a little smaller.
Did they
But
still like make you
yeah,
guys learn stuff?
Yeah, it was just a regular lesson. They were like, this is just a regular school day that you just don't have to go to.
Really? That's
Yep. It was fun because it was like school but with less people, which just means it's better. Because all my friends went for the most
Really?
part, I think. Yeah.
Would your parents have cared if you had gone or like?
Oh, my parents don't care.
Yeah,
I could have stayed home, but I was like, why would I want to stay home? School's fun. Well, school's not fun, but going to school's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just think that's really funny that I feel like each year we've had just bad things happen. And I didn't ever figure out like who the person was, but I remember I think we also had a shooting threat our sophomore year too.
It was some girl put on her like Snapchat story like, oh my God, I'm going to shoot up the school, haha. And then they like arrested her. She like didn't mean it. And then I remember the next day, what's his name? Freaking, I don't even remember. I do remember his name, but I won't say it.
Yeah.
But he was a big chungus. He came to school with like this big old speaker and was playing pumped up kicks. It was really funny.
Oh my God. Well, I thought the freshman year one was a school shooting threat. Or was it a bomb threat?
It was a bombing threat. I remember. It was written on the boys' bathroom.
Did the FBI show up both times?
I don't know.
That would be really funny.
Yeah.
What did you say, Ted?
That'd be a Brett question. Brett, he's in the FBI.
Yeah.
So he would know.
CIA.
What are you drinking?
FBI.
I'm drinking Crystal Light Fruit Punch because it's good.
Abby, what did you say it was earlier?
Huh?
What did you say it was earlier?
I'm not saying that. Okay, so yeah, that I feel like okay, I'm trying to think. I don't know how many controversies we're gonna be ranking, but I feel like that's pretty low on the bar, which I think is really funny because the fact that like we have to the school shooting threat is like the lowest ranking of that makes me laugh. And I don't think there have been any other things that happened freshman year that were really like that big.
What about the Confederate flag?
Yeah, okay. So getting into that sophomore year.
Some like truck dude bros came to school with like a Confederate flag, but they couldn't even get like a real Confederate flag. So they got like a Confederate flag that had like a flame on it with like one of those like mud silhouette women, like like the like silhouette you'd see on like a shadow of like a busty woman on the flag, because it was like the only Confederate flag they could find because they're stupid, and they wanted to cause a controversy, and then they walked around and they were like, if you're offended by this, then you can shut up. And everyone was like, bro, that's kind of cringe. And then they were like, yeah, you can't do that. And then they were like, well, we didn't even know what it meant. And then they didn't really get in trouble. I mean, they really shouldn't have, but it was all dumb.
Didn't that make national news?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. So, wasn't it? They posted it on Snapchat, and I think someone reported it to the principal, because I remember like looking at articles of that. Like it had the picture of the Snapchat, and it's like if you're offended, then like GTFO or something stupid like that. And how I heard about it, I actually knew a couple of the kids. It was either one or two of the kids that were in the picture.
Because they were ROTC kids, weren't they? Yeah.
One of them was a ROTC kid, and he was in my platoon. He was a senior, and we were sophomores at that point. And I just remember one of my instructors who's not at Chugiak anymore, he like yelled at him, and like the instructor was black, so obviously he probably took offense to it. And the funny thing is, like, the person who was in the picture that I knew, he didn't really get any, like, there wasn't any, to me, it didn't seem like there's any really bad repercussions from that. Like, and I think if you look
Ted!
What happened to Ted?
That was loud.
Yeah, it was.
Back.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know. I don't get why so many people are like so obsessed with the Confederate flags. Like, you lost the Civil War. Why would you be like proud of that? You're a loser. It's like people are always like, if there was another Civil War, we know who would win. And it's like, the North is 0-1 or 1-0. We have the credentials to prove that we would destroy the South in another war. And so they're like, if there's a civil war too, you know, us conservatives in the Texas, we have all the guns. And it's like, you had all the guns then too, and you still lost.
I think that up here is like super conservative. Like, no, if I went down to Texas, it would be a whole other story. Or like, you know, somewhere deep in the South. It just wouldn't be fun.
Texas is actually a very blue state in a lot of the metropolitan centers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Houston is. I don't know if Texas.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in Houston, though.
Yeah.
I've never been to Texas, so I wouldn't know.
I've been to Texas before the airport in Texas, and
my Aunt Cheryl lives in Texas, but I don't remember where it was.
Oh, interesting.
The stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas. No.
Is that like the motto or something?
That's their like little jingle.
How do you know that?
From Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the movie. He goes to Texas.
I've never seen that movie, so
Oh, it's a
you
good
guys
one.
know
You should watch
Texas's motto?
Huh?
I don't even know Alaska's motto.
North to
the future is our motto.
I know
Because
that.
I know it because of the Pizza Man place cards at Pizza Man that have all the facts.
Really?
Yeah,
What's our state bird? Willow ptarmigan. What's our state tree? Sitka spruce.
I know the
What's our
flower.
state mineral? Gold. Flower.
State
Forget me not.
Forget-me-not. Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
And the willow.
State motto for Texas is friendship. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding.
What?
That's true. I know that's correct.
That sounds very ironic coming from Texas because they're like, oh, we're better than everyone else. Like.
Yeah. Ooh, Aiden, are you doing some rubber band art over there? Is that what I see?
It's a pizza penis.
There we go.
I will stand by my opinion that Pizza Man is awful, though. I know all the rest.
I stand by my opinion that Pizza Man is delicious. I'm a Pizza Man stan. It's so good. I go there with Ted.
I'm neutral.
I go there with Ted frequently.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. Didn't you like have your birthday party there or something?
I did. It was great.
Yeah, everyone just.
I think there are certain types of pizza at Pizza Man that are good. I don't know. I don't think they're as good as Moose's Tooth. But
That's true. They're not as good as Moose's Tooth. But Moose's Tooth is like the best. I mean, also it's like way in Anchorage, so it's kind of a hassle.
It's top 10 in the nation for pizza.
Yeah. Also, if you go to Moose's Tooth on like a Friday night, like you're waiting for your pizza for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember when we got those like Korean barbecue wings, Aiden?
Those are really good, right?
Freaking good. Super good.
I need bangs.
Aiden, you should have someone cut it at your house.
Yeah, have your sisters do it.
Have your little
My sister's
sister.
boyfriend has offered, but he only knows how to do like buzz cuts because he was a prison barber, and they only do buzz cuts.
Well, have him do like the sides, Aiden, and then you do the front and the up.
I just need bangs. I need cute bangs that go like right about here. It'd be so good.
I said that you look like a school shooter when you were trying to put your hair in a ponytail.
It was actually a bun.
Okay, whatever. Same
Aiden,
thing.
that's so gross. That reminds me of cows chewing their cud, Aiden. God.
Aiden, stop. Okay, so going back to the Confederate flag thing. Apparently, anytime that you look up our school, like that is in the news. Like that is the number one thing. So if you guys are applying to colleges and stuff, they probably like look up Chugiak High School and the fact that that's like the number one in our news. Because I don't think anything.
It's if you look up our school name, it's like the third picture that comes up.
Yeah, which is.
Jamie, pull that up. We don't have a Jamie because we're not Joe Rogan, but someday. Savannah, pull that picture up.
Okay. What is Jamie? What?
In the Joe Rogan podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, if he needs an image pulled up, he goes, "Hey Jamie, pull up that picture," and then his sound dude or his tech dude, Jamie, pulls it up for him and then puts it on the screen.
Sadly, I don't think we have the budget.
We not budgeted for that.
Yeah, I mean, if this podcast gets going, that would be kind of cool, and then we could have a cool budget.
Have Clint do it. He'd do it. No, he probably wouldn't do it, but
No,
we
he
could talk
wouldn't
him into it.
I'll have Ted do it. Ted, you can be our.
He watched the whole podcast the other day.
He did, yeah. No, okay,
Really?
people. There's actually a few people that I know who ended up watching, like all the podcasts, and they really enjoyed it. So shout out to the people who are watching this podcast as well, because I know people who are really excited about this podcast because we're talking about like juicy stuff. Oh, yep, there is the picture.
Look at their shitty ass Confederate flag.
Wanna
Like,
read the
that's the
caption,
best you
Savannah?
could do. You could order a real one on Amazon. You just gotta wait like a few weeks.
Oh my god.
What was that, Abby?
You want to read the caption to that?
Yeah, it says, if you're offended, ... ha, that sucks. That's your, and then the picture cuts off.
Yeah, I love Chugiak and all of the racists that are in it. We just don't have
As a
good...
red-blooded American, I say,
American.
yee, brother, I love that flag. Woohoo! Heritage, not hatred.
I feel bad because I forget that a lot of the schools, like, you know how, like, each school has, like, South is the rich school. Diamond is the school where the kid ate the rat. Like, Chugiak is...
No, Diamond's the kid where Diamond's the school where they rape each other. That's the rape
Oh,
school.
yeah.
Oh,
you're right.
yeah,
Okay.
the juicing. Yeah.
Juicing.
Football team?
Oh, my,
Mhm.
I completely forgot about that. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. That was...
Football players are gay, and, like, that doesn't have to be a bad thing, but they are really, really, really
Well,
gay.
It's like they are so straight that they try to act gay.
No, they're so gay that they try to act like they're so straight that they're acting gay to prove that they're straight. But it's like full circle. They're actually just really, really gay. And that's okay. I'm an LGBT ally. All right, let me tell you. But
Girl Scout motto.
yeah, but they're super gay. And they're like, we're not gay. We just like put each other's fingers in our butts. And I'm like, that crosses the line between like casual friends, like, look at me, I'm gay, and like, oh no, shit, I'm actually gay. Like,
well, I mean, Ted, weren't you on the football team your freshman year?
Yeah, freshman and sophomore year.
How was that? You seemed disappointed in yourself.
Well, I wasn't on varsity, and that's where like most of the
gayness.
as Aiden says, the gay stuff happened. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You have any fun stories?
What's that?
Do you have any fun stories?
Just that like guys in the varsity locker room would grab each other's asses like every day, and like I don't know, part of just stuff like that. They literally played a game in the shower called "Don't Drop the Soap." So yeah, I'll let you guys decide.
I don't understand like football culture. I really don't. I feel like
I don't know.
Is that how come you didn't do
it's
football?
a sport where you get brain damage.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. I got a concussion my first year of high school, and my second year I dislocated my knee. So.
Oh gosh.
Shout out Trainer Lynn.
Yeah. Your mom actually, she was the only one that was helping me when I dislocated it. She got there late because it was in Fairbanks, but she still got there. And the other team's trainer wasn't doing anything. They were like, ice it. Just make sure to ice it.
God.
And when you get an injury, half the time the coach will be like, oh, you're fine. You walk it off. And then like Miss Lynn will be like, no, you like don't play anymore, or you'll like severely cripple yourself.
Return to play protocol, and if you complete the return to play, then you can play. But if not, for health standards, you don't play.
If you play a sport where you can get a concussion, you shouldn't play that sport anymore. You're gonna get brain fucking injuries. You're gonna get Alzheimer's or whatever.
I agree. I agree with
like,
that.
Do the preventative techniques.
Like high schoolers should not be allowed to play full contact sports where they're getting concussed, especially if it means they're gonna like die like 30 years earlier.
Or raped in the
Or they shouldn't
room.
rape each other.
Yeah. So.
But is it rape, Aiden, if they give consent? Like if they do it back? Am I right?
Yeah,
No, it's just gay, like
but the kid who made the diamond thing be like a big thing, he did not give consent to get.
Well,
raped.
okay, so
I
that was
agree.
at like the beginning of our junior year, right? It was.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, there was like a kid who said like the mom ended up talking to someone at the school saying that their kid was like pinned or something in like Fairbanks, and they did that to him as like a ritual, or what she call it, like a
Initiation.
Yeah, an initiation.
Yeah. So
They were hazing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Although what the news made it out to be was like that they like took like freshman football players like out of the room one by one and then like raped them in the butt with their fingers. But what I heard from like a service football player, he said that they just would poke each other in the butt like really hard, like through their pants, and then that kid like reported to his mom, and then his mom said it was rape. So I don't know which one it was.
Right, which is why
poking your friend in the butt with pants on is a lot less gay than like penetrating your friend's butthole with your finger. Which, yeah. Like, I mean, I poke Clint in the butthole, and he'll like jab me in the testicles sometimes if we're wrestling, and that's just playful gayness, but then
playable? Okay.
yeah, Ted thinks that
okay.
we're just as bad because we will wrestle around me and like Clint and
I
them.
find you a little hypocritical sometimes, Aiden.
And Clint he'll get in there and grab you. He thinks that's just as gay as some of the football
What about
players
you,
do to
Aiden?
like
What about you?
put their penises in each other's mouths while they're sleeping, which has happened.
Okay, that probably
That's
happened.
more gay. That's a lot more gay than
Yes.
Clint
It's
jabbed me in the.
It's just like the energy
balls.
of it all, because you and Clint are like best friends, and these football kids. I don't.
Well,
think
some of them are best friends too. So they're like
Right.
their friendship thing is that they just put each other's dicks in their mouths.
They're even friendlier with each other.
Yeah, they're more friendly.
yeah.
They're better friends.
It's like the
They're
mom
better
mentality thing. And then, I think it's funny because the coaches ended up getting fired or whatever coach. And then did the kids even suffer any consequences? Because I don't
Yeah,
think they
they
did.
were expelled. I think
Really?
They were
they weren't allowed to
expelled.
graduate. I don't think they weren't allowed to graduate with them. They probably were able to just finish the rest of their like school online because they were like seniors. They probably
I just
did the rest
remember that the rest
of their
of
credits and left.
the school, like their football team just got canceled or their season got canceled for the
Yeah.
rest of the season.
What I heard from it is what Aiden said. I heard both stories, and then I heard that the coach got fired because the mom brought it up with the coach first, and then the coach kind of like addressed it, but also not really because he wanted to continue the season as any coach would. But because he didn't like address it well enough to the mom's standards, which like he didn't, she brought it up with like the principal or whoever, and then he got fired, and then the seniors got expelled or online graduation or whatever.
I feel like a lot of people forgot about that
Yeah.
like wasn't there also stuff that like that going on, like Chugiak also had a full-on investigation.
Every football team is like just like that.
All of the teams had something because the volleyball team was sat down like varsity to see whatever, and all of us were like, okay, this isn't okay, and blah blah blah.
when that happened with the football team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I heard that like last year something I don't exactly remember, but all I know is that someone like accused someone of like rape in our team, and then there was a whole on investigation about that as well.
Why are people so rapey? Stop it.
It's like the culture of I don't
Rape
know.
culture?
Alaska's culture. Is that what you're saying, Abby?
It's a part of like
It's
football.
high school athlete culture is just being a raper. Like, just don't be a raper. When you're gonna rape somebody, just be like, wait a minute, I'm gonna not do that. That would be the trick, I think.
Yeah.
It's mom mentality. I mean, because I feel like there's so many kids on that team that are just like wrapped in to stuff that they don't want to be wrapped into, and then they end up being the same person that they said they would never become, when they're juniors, seniors, and stuff like that. And
No, all of them, they're all really into it. They're like, I can't wait till I get to be the raper.
yeah, because they think of like that person as like a hurt. Like
No, because they want to be a raper. They like it. They're like, except okay, a lot of them are not rapers. They're just boys who are really gay. But those are not the same thing. You can be really gay and not be
right,
a
yeah.
rapist.
Thank you for clarifying, Aiden.
Thank you for the clarification.
I don't want to offend anybody.
Right. So
I mean,
back.
it's chocolate. It's really good.
Is
It's
it-
white chocolate, but it's got like caramel on the inside.
White chocolate kind of slaps, in my opinion. Like,
I think it's pretty good.
I think it's good, and a lot of people don't like it. But, that's okay. But white chocolate fudge, that is good. That stuff is so good. Anyways, backtracking on to sophomore year, since we kind of spoke about junior year, which I've completely forgot that happened. I think, Aiden, you're going to want to talk about this. We kind of talked about the Confederate flag thing, and then the other thing that happened sophomore year, which I know we would all love to talk about, is what happened with screenagers. So, Aiden.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Before you say anything about what you did, explain, like, what screenagers.
The Screenagers is like a documentary kind of about how technology is impacting the lives of our teenagers and, like what they need to know and how their screen time is controlling their lives. And it's some pandering bullshit. And it's horrible. And it's supposed to be educational. And they showed it to us because they wanted to, I don't fucking know what, because they wanted to teach us that our screens are bad. It was like the most out of touch thing they could have done. They had an assembly. They scheduled an assembly where we got together and watched a video about why electronics are bad. And this is the most like boomer thing you can do. And I don't normally. say that, but
And then the
like
staff got super pissed that we didn't take it seriously.
yeah,
during
and
one part,
Didn't they-
they're showing scenes from video games, right? And there's one part where they're showing a clip from Grand Theft Auto, and this dude comes up, he just punches this bitch in the face, and I thought it was so funny, and I just started clapping. And all my friends next to me started clapping, and the whole auditorium just started clapping. And the person on stage saw me, and I ended up getting taken out of class later, and we had a meeting, and we discussed my thoughts. So I don't know if I'm on some school list or something, but it was very entertaining.
that didn't stop you from becoming the president though. After that,
No, it did not.
Well, wasn't it? They separated the juniors and seniors and the freshmen and sophomores or something like that, because I think the juniors and seniors were doing. I don't know.
They didn't have to go, I don't think, to it.
Yeah, and I just remember they're just like, this is a very renowned. Because didn't they also bring the people that like made the movie or something? Like they spoke about it before we watched. I think.
I don't know. It was a lady who spoke about it is a lady who I like a lot, and I feel bad that I was very rude, but at the same time.
Well, yeah, I just remember because I think they also showed it. Oh my God! So you know how they showed it at the school to us, but we didn't.
Wasn't there like a parental viewing? Or
Yes,
something?
and my dad went to
was.
go see the movie because my mom made him.
Was he like, yeah, this is right?
So good, or was he like,
Fuck them
that's
screens.
bullshit?
No, my mom. Oh, I completely forgot. Yeah, so my mom later that night, she's like, "Oh, there's gonna be a screening of Screenagers later. You and your dad should go." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going." So my dad went, and he watched it. I don't remember what he said about it, but it was like kind of boomery, but not super boomery at the same time. And I just thought that was so funny that the fact my mom like forced my dad to go on.
They included clips of Minecraft and Civilization in their like segment on why video games are harmful. And I'm like, you cannot be out here saying that Minecraft is anything but beneficial for students. It's just Legos without having Legos. It's like super helpful to kids. It helps like autistic kids express themselves. Minecraft's really big in the like Asperger's community. And fucking Civilization, which is just a historic strategy game. Like it's like chess. If you're gonna use, and then they showed Grand Theft Auto, of course, which is just a good game. But if they're trying to show like video games violent, bad, video games make murderers, like
What about
pick
Call
better
of Duty?
games.
Yeah.
Ted said, "What about Call of Duty?"
Oh, and then freaking the lady who I respect went on to some discussion about how Call of Duty is made by the U.S. military to desensitize soldiers, and that's factually inaccurate. Call of Duty is made by Activision, which they left the studio that made Medal of Honor, which was an early 2000s first-person shooter like military game. They broke off and they made Activision their own studio, and then they made their own Call of Duty game. It was not at all used by the military. What the information she was referring to is the fact that like the military, like they tell soldiers and they're like off duty, like they tell you like to play games like Call of Duty or like Rainbow Six Siege, play games where you're like a team and you communicate with one another, just so that you like forge the bonds of friendship and like so you, so you're like ready for a situation where you like would be able to openly communicate with your teammates, which is not the same as it being a military game to like desensitize people. Like if I wanted to be desensitized, I just have Clint send me videos of people dying.
Where does Clint find that shit? Where does he find?
Well, previously from r/watch people die, but that got banned off of Reddit.
Oh, okay.
Just a subreddit, people dying.
Oh my God.
Some of them are funny, and this is the thing. This is part of the discussion I had with this teacher, with whom I now respect greatly. But she's like, so you think violence is funny? And I'm like, yes, yeah, all the time. And that's okay. Like if I fall down the stairs and my friends laugh at me, they're like, that's okay, because it was probably funny, and like I don't, there comes a point you don't want to be like hurting people. I don't want to like be like beating people up like, oh, you're, you fuck you, I'm gonna injure you because that's not okay. But if like, like what was America's Funniest Home Videos? It was like 80% people getting like hit in the nuts,
and it was babies too. A lot of it was babies and little kids.
And so it's like there's a morbid curiosity with violence. Like a lot of people who watch videos of people dying, they don't do it because they get like some sort of sexual gratification, and they do it just because it's like it's interesting. We're all humans. You can die like that. You can be 1 second you're alive, the next second you fucking get your head cut off by like someone from a cartel. You know, we're very fragile, and you don't think about it. I saw this one video of a dude who jumped out of like a hydro dam, like off. It wasn't the Hoover Dam, but it was like the Hoover Dam kind of. And he like rolled down, and he hit the end, just, and it's like. It's crazy because it's like literally like one step could be the difference between like you're alive and to now you're not alive. And it was funny. The way he tumbled down was comical, and he's no longer alive.
Also, a lot of the times, like, those videos are funny because it's someone being like, hey, watch me do this stupid shit. And like, you're not going to film someone who's
yeah, that's true. If they're doing like rooftop parkour and then they slip, like,
oh my god, that is so scary. Whenever I watch
some Darwinism right there.
Yeah, like it's all ridiculous stuff that's filmed. Like you never film someone in like a hospital and it's like, oh, counting down the seconds. Like, no, that's just not something you do.
Or it's like people in like Southeast Asian countries or like Brazil where like they have 1 million CCTV cameras with really grainy footage, and it's just like videos of them getting run over because they run each other over like crazy.
That's awful.
Like, I would never want to be a driver in like India
In Brazil.
or in Brazil, like you're driving around like Sao Paulo or whatever. You're just gonna get run over. You're gonna get run down. Or like everybody there's an off-duty cop. You can always find videos of like people trying to rob stores, and then there's an off-duty cop who just blasts them. And I'm like, you got to be prepared because in Brazil, I swear to God, it's like 80% off-duty cops.
Where do you find this stuff, Aiden?
Previously, r/watch people die, but you know, I got banned a while back.
Anymore. Yeah, not anymore.
I don't really like watching those types of videos. I just that is desensitization.
Oh, okay.
I don't go out of my no. If I did, I would admit it. I'd be like, yeah, I like watching people die, but it doesn't really bother me.
Because you showed me during Wacko.
Okay, you really enjoyed that. It was after hours for Wacko setup.
What?
And I was sitting next to Savannah on a bench, and we were just going through videos of people getting like horrifically injured. And Savannah was laughing and laughing.
All I remember is there was this one video of this person like following a bear, and then they like hit a bear, threw a rock at it, and the bear turned around. And I was like, that's why you don't do that.
They probably lived because the video was uploaded. But yeah, the bear, like, you see the bear like, rah, and jump on him.
Yeah, like trying what they were saying about the whole desensitization thing. It's like, to me, I was so confused when all that happened because at the time I was like, wait, why are people clapping? But now I'm like, it's really not that big of a deal.
It was funny. They're clapping because it was funny because that bitch got murked, and it was funny because it's Grand Theft Auto. And if you've ever played Grand Theft Auto, like, try to play Grand Theft Auto without running people over.
Whatever you want,
yeah.
Right, and like you don't suffer any repercussions from the outside world. I mean,
you run people over in video games so that you don't do it in real life, and that is a healthy way.
I remember I was sitting with some people, I'm not going to name their names, and they were very much like, oh, they shouldn't have done that, blah, blah. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, when you started clapping, because I didn't know it was you at the time, I was low-key laughing because I'm like, oh, my God.
Because it was funny.
In the way that, like, the woman fell, like, you kind of made...
I was sitting next to a bunch of, like, the religious girls. You all know who it is, but they
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They probably didn't think that was as funny. That's okay. I can respect that.
I was like...
Yeah, I was sitting next to a person who, you know, was we told
know
who that is.
Is it perhaps who it is? Hey, I didn't say their name, okay? I didn't say their name.
It's okay. I'll bleep that out. But yeah, and that person was very much just like, oh, that's not okay. That, you know, blah blah blah. And I just remember because one of our admin, I remember that person came up, right? And that person, I don't want to use pronouns, you know, because I don't want to say who this person is. But when that person was just like, that's not okay, you shouldn't be laughing at that. Because we had a discussion after, right? I specifically remember us having a discussion about it because they paused the movie like halfway through. And they're just like, yeah, this isn't okay. Why are you guys clapping? This is not a good representation of who you guys are and stuff. And
it's a perfect. That was probably the proudest moment I've ever been of Chugiak. It's like we all came together as one big family to collectively hate on some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the movie was so cringy. I want to see if there's actually like a copy on YouTube or something where like I could watch it again just to see how bad it was because it was
I bet
so
that's
bad.
on YouTube. I bet it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
Aiden,
I'm pretty
if
sure.
you want, I can try to trim your hair. I can try to give you a haircut.
Ed, I'm growing it out. I'm growing it to my ass. That's my plan.
Why? Don't do that. You're gonna
I'm
look like
growing it.
Josh, and it's gonna look.
Josh, that's a compliment. Josh is a fine man with some beautiful long hair, except my hair is thicker and darker. And I'm gonna put it on your shoulder all the time. I'm gonna come to when Ted's in Seward in Avtech, and I'm gonna go there during the year, and I'm gonna sneak into his dorm, and I'm gonna leave my hair on his shoulder.
How are you gonna do that when you're in California, Aiden? Yeah,
I'm not going to California.
My brother went to
You said
Avtech.
you were.
A long time ago.
I am going to Avtech. Yeah.
What are you studying? Mechanics or?
Refrigeration.
Electrician.
Oh, nice. I know that's a good school, so I'm sure my brother went there like a couple years ago and he really liked it. But going back to the whole screenagers thing, I think I do remember you saying something though about how it's not like desensitization because instead of watching the rest of the movie, we just spoke about it. Aiden. Or am I remembering that wrong? Because I'm pretty sure there was a discussion about it.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, because I swear there was. Do you guys remember that? Because I don't.
I just remember they scolded us. They constantly scolded us about how we acted.
Yeah, and then they were like, "This is the exact reason why we're showing you this." And then.
I remember they asked us, so do your parents put any restrictions on your phone? And some girl was like. Yeah. Some girl, I don't remember what she has an accent, but it's not like an accent. It's like she was like, oh, my parents block my phone. And they put parental restrictions on when I can use it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's not good. Like when people's parents have those apps that like track them or when people's like, they're not allowed to download apps because their parents restrict it. I'm like, that's fucking cringe.
Yeah,
that's kind of,
that's weird. That's controlling.
And when I go to college,
saying strict makes secretive.
Right. It just makes it.
Yeah, your children are independent, and your job as a parent is to guide them in the correct direction. It's not to tie a leash around their neck and drag them where you want them to go.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just, masking them from, like, what the real world is. Because I know so many, and, like, this is just, to me, a funny description in my head. Like, the kids who were not allowed to watch SpongeBob when they were growing up, like, they just remind me of, like...
Mike Jones, he wasn't allowed to watch
really,
SpongeBob.
Those, like, super religious kids. Like, this is, like, just my depiction of people who are like that. Where they don't know what the real world is actually like. Because, like, in 8th grade, I remember that's when I had come to a realization about, like, how awful, like, reality is. Because we had to do current events.
Did you watch a bunch of people die?
Totally. And it just, like, it's just shading them from, just harmful things that
I think that
about.
I see, like I know a lot of people who weren't allowed to watch shows like SpongeBob, not because of, like, religious reasons or because it was inappropriate, but more just because, like, a lot of it's, like, hyper-spaz, like, ADHD humor. Like, there's a lot of shows that I would not have let my kids watch, like shows I really hated. Like I don't know if you ever watched Sanjay and Craig, but I hate that show. I hate that show so much. It's horrible. I remember there was one episode where they're like, because their mom is like a doctor in the hospital, and they go to the hospital and they go in like into the pus vault in the basement of the hospital where they keep all the pus from all the patients, and they swim in the pus and they gargle the pus. And I was thinking, this is horrendous. So if my children were like trying to watch an equivalent show, I'd be like, no, you're gonna watch fucking something that I approve of, like Yo Gabba Gabba. My little sisters watch Yo Gabba Gabba, and now they're really weird.
Was so good.
Yo Gabba Gabba was so weird, and like my little sisters watched it, so I'd watch it with them. And like that shit was the perfect amount of weird to breed weird children. And I hope my kids are strange, so that way we can be like homies.
You can be homies. Yeah, like looking back on watching that, it's definitely like boomer. Because I remember there was like a 13-year-old girl, and I think she said something about how, like, it wasn't nudes, or maybe it was.
No, I think she sent pictures of herself like in a bra and like underwear to like a boy, and then he distributed that because he's a fucking piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then she, like, it affected her negatively, but She
Well,
played
no
Minecraft.
shit, it affected her negatively.
Yeah.
Aiden.
Because she put it
yeah.
in the movie. Yeah, and I just remember thinking about that. I'm like, this is, to me, it was just so unrealistic because, you know, it could happen. But the fact that we were all like, you know, 15, 16, looking back on the 13-year-old, I'm like, we were not, most people weren't like that when they were 13. Well, I wasn't like that, but I just think it's funny how.
I think there definitely are a select few of individuals who do stuff like that, like who are just crave attention, and so they like get pictures from girls or like that, and just send it to
And I
their
would call
friends
those
because they
people.
want- Yeah, exactly.
I really want the soundboard that you have, Aiden. Oh my god.
It's like, I think it was like $10.
Did you like buy it off of a software, or is it like an actual soundboard?
No, it's like a computer software. It's called Voice Mod, but it only has a select few voices like every day or every week. They rotate. And then if you buy the full version, you have access to all of them. And you can be like, hey, Peter.
I
Anyway, the
don't
moral
like
of the
that
story
one.
is that Screenagers was horrible and I fucking hated it.
I just think it's so
Anyway.
funny that like each year the things just get worse and worse and worse, and they're so like niche. So because I'm assuming most other schools probably didn't ever have to watch that horrendous movie, and we just like you
They
said,
watched it in the Valley, I think.
really. Like, it's just
I
like
have a friend who goes to Colony.
we all came together.
With Mark.
Mark, my friend from Colony. That's how you say
Actually, he goes to the middle college in the Valley now.
Oh, okay.
Does not go to Colony.
it. But
Have him as a guest. He'd be a guest.
really,
Yeah, he would. Does he still have a beard?
Oh, he's got a huge beard. I'm so jealous. My friend Mark, he can grow like a full beard in like a week. And like me, in like, you know, I can grow like a neck beard, but I gotta keep that shit taken care of.
mm-hmm.
Ted, how's that mustache looking? I know you've grown out
I
your
actually
mustache.
trimmed it. I trimmed it.
You
I
trimmed
trimmed it
it?
2 days ago because it didn't look great, and so now I'm trying to grow it out some more.
I put out a Twitter poll and I was like, should I shave my ass? And it was like, yes, was the answer.
I did see that.
I got like, did you vote?
I don't know. I may not have, but if I did, I probably would have said yes. Just for
I did like half of it. It's
Why would you
interesting.
do half? That's like shaving half your head, Aiden.
Because I was in the shower for like a really long time and I didn't want my parents to start. We have one bathroom, so it's like you gotta be quick in and out. I didn't want to be hogging it. Someone had to go. And
Why not wait till everyone else uses it?
because I never know when they're gonna need to use it, and like I can just go outside, but I have like, you know, I live with like 4 other women, and they can't, you know, just go pee off the deck like I can. So we're out my window.
Aiden? Why are you doing that at your home, dude?
What do you mean? Why not?
with that segue. Let's see, what other controversies? Oh my god. Okay, so moving into junior year now, we kind of already spoke about the juicing thing. I don't think there was anything else from our sophomore year that was super like highlightable. I don't even know if that's a word, but I don't think
It is.
Thank you. But so what happened, this was probably like in the middle of April, it feels like. It was a spirit day and it was patriotic day. And then someone who was a foreign exchange student ended up posing in a picture with another person, and it was, you know, with like they were wearing like Trump hats and they had like a MAGA flag or whatever. And then that person posted on Twitter, and then it sparked this entire thing.
I don't know much about that one, so I can't really weigh in.
Did you guys know about that, Savannah?
I know who it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The foreign exchange student, according to the foreign exchange student, not using pronouns upon Abbey's request,
Right.
they claim that they were just trying to be in a photo because everyone wanted a photo with them because they were so cool and whatnot, super big and popular and the leader of the crowd section. And they claimed that they went up to the other person and just like smiled and posed, and they put the hat on, and then they like got blown up on Twitter and got a bunch of like hate, and they had to delete Twitter all because of a photo that they didn't even realize was like supporting the cause.
Yeah, because I know that person didn't wear any like MAGA stuff, but I remember when it was posted on Twitter, the girl that was a part of that and who basically sparked the controversy because she's an attention seeker because she does it all the time. She got like I think 1,000 likes on Twitter or something like that, and then all these kids from the valley were just like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that." And some kids
brother.
were like, "Well," and some kids were just like, "Yeah, rock on." Like, why are you guys shutting her down for her opinions? And then like memes came out of it because I'm pretty sure all you guys know who the girl is who like basically.
I actually don't.
Okay,
I don't
well,
either.
like, okay, do you guys know the James Charles meme where like it's this like people made memes that she looked like that? Can you guys see that? Yeah. So she ended up like saying like she only did it so she could post it for attention, and then she was also the person that I like kind of had beef with, but not really about climate change.
You talked about that person.
Yeah. Do you know who I'm talking about, Ted, or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't get why everyone cared about the person wearing like the MAGA hat. Like, why do you really give a shit?
It was just more so about the people. It wasn't more of a
It's
school
more
thing.
about it being a foreign exchange student in that cause and whatnot.
And
He's
like
just taking a picture.
it just caused a huge thing because the person, he was just like, oh guys, I wasn't like, I'm not trying to support anything or deny anything or whatever, like I just wanted to be like show my love for America because he doesn't, and a lot of people were like subtweeting him being like, oh no, like you need to know, like when you go into pictures you need to like be educated on that, and there was a whole
My
thing.
God, that's so cringe. When people tell other people like you need to be educated, it's like fuck you.
Fuck you, Brennan.
Okay, so another thing from junior year that I know will get Aiden very riled up, but we have to keep it pretty short since this video is probably going to be pretty long.
Ed, where do you have to go to eat dinner? What are you eating for dinner? Tell me first.
I'm eating. It's called borscht
Oh, I like borscht. All right.
and homemade bread.
That sounds good. What the heck?
You need to use my mirror? No.
Who keeps yelling? Aiden.
It's his
Who
sisters.
keeps yelling?
It's my little sister. She needs my mirror. Oh, fuck.
Oh my God.
She needs my mirror for something.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Stop it.
we're going to talk about prom and the dead flowers. Ted, do you know about this?
I can't get into it because
Okay.
Clinton's gonna make fun of me. He's
We will
gonna make
get
fun of
more
me.
about
Get into
this in the student government episode, but basically, last
No, we cannot cover it when Clint's there. He's just gonna make fun of me.
Wait, no. You guys have to tell me.
What do you need?
Okay, so basically last year, junior
Your
year,
hair? Get
Yeah.
out of here.
we planned the prom obviously, and it was in the school, and
Oh,
people
this is bad.
have their different opinions. I don't really care because everyone had their own experiences, and it's done. So basically, when the prom court came on, we were supposed to apparently bring them flowers and have their
You're
bios
good
being
enough.
read.
You're not my teachers.
That was like we were supposed to do that as a student government apparently, even though I was never aware of that, and I don't think most of the other kids were aware of that either in the class.
What are we talking about?
Just the prom thing. And basically the admin screamed at a couple of us because we didn't do that, and it's such a minute thing for
No, it's just me. I got yelled at.
Yeah. And so
Because you didn't bring flowers?
yeah,
They didn't really care. I didn't really care about that. Their prom. They got angry. I don't know. Fuck. Prom is horrible to plan. It was a lot of work, and I didn't enjoy it at all. And the dance wasn't very fun. And I am so glad I never have to do that again. But I worked hard, and people said it was good. And then they left flowers in the student government room that were just like,
well, okay, yeah.
you guys, you did a bad job.
It was later on that Monday, since prom was on a Friday or on a Saturday, and there were flowers in the student government room, dead flowers, the ones the bouquet that we were supposed to give the prom king and queen, but they didn't care. They literally didn't care. So then what happened was on the there was they put the flowers on there, but then there was a note, and it was on a piece of paper, and it was typed up. And it's you guys should have put more forethought into this prom so people can actually enjoy it.
It said these dead flowers
represent
the severe lack of foresight on behalf of the junior class. Try better next year so your class can actually have an enjoyable year, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and it was just very passive aggressive, and we don't know who it is, but apparently they caught the person who did it. We had our suspicions.
I could call. If I were to text a teacher named Miss Porty, they'd probably be like, yeah, I'll just tell you. But I need to let it go. Clint makes fun of me for it all the time. And because I said I was disgustingly appalled. Because we were under the impression it was a teacher because a bunch of students told us that it lined up with something this one teacher would do. And there's I know a teacher at Chugyek who really hates me. They would do that.
What's like the font that was used was very distinct and very much along the lines of something that teacher would use.
Right.
Do you think
It was like their
that
favorite
teacher?
font.
Well, we don't know.
think it
Does
was.
that teacher favor? Yeah, and then I know who you're talking about.
But it wasn't.
know.
It wasn't that. It was not that teacher. Allegedly,
Apparently,
but
but
we were
I-
under the
think it was.
impression at first that
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, and we don't know, and the admin told us it was a student who did it, but you know, we still don't exactly know like who it was. But we can
Okay.
kind of, you know, we can be skeptical about who it was. But that was a whole thing, and it's like, imagine being that petty, regardless if you are a student or a teacher, to do that to a class that has never planned prom, because that's what happens every year. Each class that does it, they've never planned a prom before because it always falls in the junior class. So when that happened, it's like they blame, like, especially with our student government, and we'll get to that in the student government episode because I know we'll have lots to talk about, but like it always falls on us no matter what we do. They always look at our faults rather than like the good things that we had done. And that was like a whole thing. And it was awful. And like if Aiden gets heated, you know it's bad. like no matter what Clint says, like you still have a right to be angry about that because I was really angry.
He go. It don't matter. It don't matter. But then, yeah, if you play a video game with Clint and he gets all angry, he'll be like, "I have to poop," and he'll leave for like 45 minutes. Because when Clint's angry, he goes poop to get the anger out, which seems to work for
makes
him. So I should really try it.
child.
He just completely froze out. Or
You cut out for a second. What, Ted?
I said he makes an angry child.
Yeah, he does. But he doesn't send me a video of it, so it's not gay.
Oh, okay.
so
Probably
that
because
was-
he's not a football player.
Definitely.
yeah, so
Got him.
that was a whole thing last year. And I don't think, well, I don't even know if most people know about that. I know like a few of my friends know that aren't student government, but they're already pretty like active within student government anyways. But the admin came in, they apologized to us, even though they are the ones to yell at people. Because when this was going on, right, because I didn't even know that was going on, like during prom, because I know you and Maggie were, you know, doing stuff. And I was like, what is going on? What is happening?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't
My
know.
date was Mike Jones, and he didn't put out at the end, so it was a worthless dance.
Worthless.
We went out to Piccolino's
Your year.
with our friends. I got nothing.
Which is no longer a restaurant.
It's not. I haven't been to the new place. Is it any good?
What's it called?
like Pinocchio or something.
It's like Ponderoso's or like something like that.
Oh, I did not know that Piccolino's even. Well, I think I did. I just keep forgetting. Like,
I haven't been out to eat in a long time because of the fucking stupid coronavirus.
the last time
That's a
I
button.
went out to eat somewhere was for Military Bowl, and that was a month ago. But
Bleep
before that,
every other word you say.
what?
I bleeped every other word.
Oh. Yeah, so that was really fun ending out prom like that, and kind of like the part of junior year as a whole was just literally awful for me. Like, it was not fun at all.
Yeah, it was one of the worst years probably.
Yeah.
The
But
summer before it was great, but that year, not.
no, sophomore year was good, but junior year, like, that was just everything that happened that year. It felt like a fever dream. And then something that I didn't think that we were going to talk about that just came up recently for this year would be the Mustang senior signs. Ted, do you know about all that stuff that happened?
No, what happened?
Who left your Mustang senior sign at your house, Ted?
Oh yeah, I saw the sign. Thank you guys.
Oh, that was
No, we didn't. We didn't do that. That was teachers.
Oh.
It's a negative. It's a negative thing.
Mhm.
Why is it negative?
Okay. So Aiden or Savannah, explain this because.
I'll go grab it. Give me a second.
Okay. Yes, please.
I don't hate that they did it. I just wish that they had like shot my mom an email and be like, "Hey, we're gonna come by your house at 10 in the morning to leave a sign in your yard."
Yeah.
Did they like disturb you guys?
So
My mom just got
basically,
freaked out.
a preface
Why?
to all.
She saw two people wearing masks like creeping around our yard. We have kind of like an
Okay.
enclosed yard,
Mhm.
and usually when people creep around our yard, it's not a good thing. So
All right, Savannah, you should explain this one since you're the one who has the sign. And
I had
I have mine
to
outside.
window for it.
all right, explain to the people what the signs are and what happened.
This is the sign. It says CHS senior quarantine here. And I think I'm like the only student that like got a memo that this was happening because my mom is really good friends with all the admin. And so what happened is the full story is the admin and the teachers got to choose whose house they went to. So Mr. J, Miss Hatswell, and Miss McLaughlin all came to my house. But before that, sorry, I had to like run down to the bottom of the driveway. But before that, Miss Hatswell texted my mom. She was like, "Hey, is Savannah awake?" And this is like 9 a.m. I have not been up before like 11 before this. And so I got a call and I was like, "Savannah, wake up, come outside." And I was like, what the fuck? And then all 3 cars are there. They're masked up. They're putting this locker sign or this yard sign like into my ground. And they're like, "Oh, yay." But I was the only one that got notified. And so there were a bunch of people that just like had to show up randomly. No one knew if it was admin or student government, according to Ted, thinking it was us. But then
Senior sweatshirt.
Senior sweatshirt. A specific someone very much did not like the idea of having that there because it says quarantined and not like stationed here or like housed here. They were mad because it's alluded to the fact that they had corona themselves and they were very offended by it.
Except that's not what quarantined mean, and you can be quarantined.
So right, like the reason we got the signs is, I'm assuming it's because they wanted to let us know, like, oh, we still think about you. Because at first I thought they were just dropping it off to, student government kids only, but I was under the impression that they because I know we kind of spoke about it in the student government meeting that we had, but I didn't know they were actually going to follow through. So when someone showed up to my house, I was really confused because my dad woke me up at like 10 a.m. and he's like, "There's someone here with a sign." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, is it like the Mustang senior sign or something?" And they're like, "Yeah." So really the only part that I was like about, kind of like what Aiden said, is like I felt kind of weird that they came to my house with no notice because I was like surprised. I was like, "What?" Like I was kind of blindsided at the fact that they did that. And, like I know they had good intentions and stuff, so I can see where people were kind of angry, but I feel like it just kind of started this unneeded, like not drama, but, controversy that some people felt this way and they wanted to, like they felt so offended at the fact that they decided to email, someone.
The thing is, you can have the best intentions and people are still going to turn it against you.
Right, and
just give a fucking send an email out. Hey, we're gonna come to your house. Do you mind if we bring this sign by? So that I could have had the option to be like, no, please do not come to my house.
They can
That's what I would say.
If you do get the sign, literally just take it off of your lawn and dispose of it.
But it's like they shouldn't really. I mean, they have our address in the system, but it's like they shouldn't ever use that for anything that isn't important. It's like if I worked at like a pharmacy or like a doctor's office and like some like cute girl came in and then like after I gave them their prescription, I hit them up. I was like, "Hey, do you want to go on a date sometime?" When they'd be like, "How do you get my number?" It's like, "Oh, I got it from the system." Then I would like, you lose your job. That's a violation of, HIPAA or whatever it's called. So it's like the same thing. Like the district has our addresses and our emails and all that, but they shouldn't ever use that without like it being something that's like necessary or without our consent, because I wouldn't want my teachers coming around my house. And if it had been a teacher that I really dislike, like thankfully it was a teacher who I'm cool with, so I don't really care. But if it had been like a teacher I really hate, scrouching up in my yard. Yeah, it was the Logans. Both Logans came.
Oh, the Logan's nice.
Yeah, which I think is really funny because Mr. Logan was there. And Mr. Logan is a former correctional officer, and I live with a former inmate who knew Mr. Logan as a guard. They didn't see each other, but had they, that would have been really fun.
I thought the guy that lives with you, Aiden, I thought he liked Mr. Logan.
He did like Mr. Logan, but it would have just been funny to be like, "Hey, look, I'm not in jail anymore."
So funny.
Mr. Logan was one of the good guards. If you ask any former prisoners that knew Mr. C.O. Logan, he's one of the good ones.
Aiden, you talked to a span of one former inmate there. You haven't talked to all of them.
I know one other one who also knows Mr. Logan.
You do?
So,
yeah.
Ted, How did you feel about them dropping off the signs? Like, what was your opinion on the
I
entire
do
thing?
think I thought it was, I thought it was very nice. I thought that the fact that they were thinking of us, I
Mhm.
liked that. But rather than, I really it wasn't an invasion of privacy. You know what I mean by
Yeah.
finding out our address, or even like you guys were saying, an email would have been nice and some heads up would have been great. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty thoughtful.
Is your guys'
Yeah.
signs in your yards? I put mine out like the other day.
Mine's like up against a tree by our driveway.
My mom put it right next to my window because I live in my room.
Yes. I don't care.
Savannah, is that your phone?
Computer, but yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta go.
Yep.
Okay. Well, okay. We're gonna do something really fast to end this out.
Okay.
This is like a really good podcast. So thank you for coming, Ted. Do you have anything you want to plug, like your Discord name or your Instagram or anything?
I probably shouldn't say my email.
Add Ted on
not
email.
really. I mean, thanks for having me. Your first
Ladies,
guest.
hit the hottest ginger up.
That's right.
Yeah,
You
if
might
any
have-
ladies need some hot Theodore Bussy, they better get that shit. Get in on that quick
Because it's going while it's hot, man. You gotta get in on that Ted Bussy right now.
Okay.
All right, and with that, I'm signing off, guys.
All right.
All right.
Bye, Ted.
See you later, Mr.
Thank you for
Theodore
coming.
Nichols, the CEO of racism. Also, by the way, Ted is incredibly racist. He really hates minorities, especially black people.
Thank you for that, Aiden. And so
You
To
are
end this
welcome.
to end this all off, since Ted just left, and most people who are probably watching this don't even know half the stuff that went on. They weren't in high school yet. So I just think it's really good, like, emulation of what our school is like. And, I think it's very much of a one of a kind thing that we have to deal through, because there's so many things that all of us as a student class have had to do and, like, come together. Aiden. All right. And to wrap this video up, I know, what do you guys have to plug? It has to be different this time. You have anything to plug?
Add me on Discord. What's my Discord name? I don't even know. Find it
Savannah,
real
do you have
quick.
anything to plug?
Like Aiden said, add me on TikTok.
Add me
Tis.i.Savannah.
on Discord. My username is Sir Presidiano, capital SIR period space P capital P RECILIANO, and then my friend code is #5748.
Fun. All right. So if you guys like this podcast / video, please like and subscribe. I'm close to
Hit
100
the
subscribers.
bell icon. You gotta hit the bell icon. If you don't hit the bell, you can't see the video. Go
Mhm.
watch Portal to Pawn Stars in Minecraft, and then Portal to Portal and Pawn Stars in Minecraft from Cream of the Corn, Josh Severson. I might be on his other channel, Jersh.
Aiden.
Yeah.
My sister watched the video last week and she saw that you hated her username and she went, "Fuck you, Aiden." So,
Wait, what's her username? I don't remember.
AK Fish Diva or something.
Oh, yeah.
All
It's
right.
true, Cheyenne. Everybody knows it. That's a bad name. You can pick a better one. Fisher's gross. Divas are gross. Alaska's
All right.
gross.
I'll
You were
see
like-
you guys in the next video. Bye.
Alabama Gator Queen. That'd be cooler.